Hello and welcome to CTV News Across Canada for Thursday, August 14th. We've got the top local stories from coast to coast, stories that affect you and the country. Thanks for joining us.
Conditions this morning were a step in the right direction in the fight, but the thick fog prevented DNR helicopters from attacking the Suzy Lake fire from the air. Much of Bears Lake was quiet, with many businesses shuttered, some under mandatory evacuation. Premier Tim Houston says usually crews have about 25 minutes to keep a woods fire from spreading, but now,
under current conditions, it's more like 5 minutes or less. Some of these things can just run away immediately. So obviously we're in a really, really tricky situation here in the province. And the main reason that we haven't had a catastrophe yet is our firefighters.
The province shared some photos and video of the battle against the Suzy Lake fire behind Bears Lake, an inside look at what crews are up against. In the afternoon, the sky cleared up, showing what things looked like. At the same time, the province said the fire was human-caused.
The cause of the fire was related to human activity. It was an open fire. There was nobody in the area when the crews arrived on scene. That makes it impossible to hold the person or people responsible to account, and yet that's frustrating to everyone.
But officials steered clear of more details and declined sharing if there was an encampment in the area. The Premier saying the investigation will take time, but the conditions don't show any signs of improvement.
It's going to be a long stretch here. There's no real rain in the forecast, certainly not in the orders of magnitude that we would need in this province. And so far, we've been dodging bullets. Think about it, 17 fires just, in the last 24 hours. The province is a tinderbox.
The tensions were eased compared to what people saw when the fire broke out on Tuesday.
It's definitely hitting home. It's a little close to home for me, and I definitely don't want to see it go any further and anybody's homes get destroyed or anything worse.
Officials say there are no homes or businesses at risk. The fire has shrunk in size. Afternoon estimates suggesting it's around 15 hectares, about half the size as it was last night. But crews aren't ready to say it's held or under control just yet. Now, yesterday there was concern from DNR that the wind could make this fire go further, but there's no evidence to suggest it went beyond Suzy's Lake. Crews are working very hard to contain the perimeters of it right now, and while it's not growing, firefighters want to get more confidence before declaring it as held. There's been 12 fines handed out in the last week or so, according to the province, both woods ban and burn ban. The Premier says he hopes those $25,000 fines will be fully prosecuted and collected. Of note, there's also 2 fires in Kings County in the Lake Paul area. One is now under control. The other is out of control, similar to this one here in Bears Lake.
Air Canada has started cancelling flights to lock out its flight attendants, even before they walk off the job, leaving some in a desperate lurch. Marianne Barrow's weekend flight to LA was cancelled. She may not get to her family reunion.
It's been 3 hours. I'm on hold, waiting. So I told my husband, drop me off at the airport. Maybe someone can help me from an Air Canada customer service. And they said they can't.
To explain why the airline is taking measures ahead of Saturday's strike deadline, Air Canada President Michael Rousseau says the airline regrets the impact of the disruption. He blames the disappointing conduct of CUPE's negotiators and says the risk of a strike can create chaos for travelers. The union, representing 10,000 flight attendants, said that Air Canada's offer doesn't keep pace with inflation.
The company came to us with a very minimal wage proposal. So they put 8% on the table in the first year, and that still would not pull our members out of the poverty level at the beginning.
Air Canada did offer a 38% increase in pay over 4 years, improved pension, ground pay, and crew rest, and an offer for binding arbitration. The airline will lose hundreds of millions of dollars if a strike can't be averted.
So they've struggled a bit with profitability the last quarter. So this is going to be something that will really hit the bottom line.
130,000 passengers could be impacted daily. For now, many remain on the side of the workers.
We think that they should get paid for what they're doing. If they're not getting paid for those hours boarding and deplaning, they should be paid for that.
For now, the federal government is staying on the sidelines, but offering mediators to help with negotiations. Federal Labor Minister Patty Hajdu says the best agreements are the ones the parties reach themselves. Judy Trin, CTV News, Ottawa.
Appearing in an orange prison shirt with a shaved head and stubble on his face, 52-year-old Robert Ladouceur made his second appearance in court Wednesday, his counsel recommending an in-person bail hearing Friday, but Ladouceur insisted he has not been able to get a hold of his lawyer and he isn't prepared for a bail hearing. The judge granting him additional time to speak with his lawyer, Eghard Ehlers, and will reappear in video remand Friday. While Barrie police have chosen not to disclose any information about the investigation, court documents obtained by CTV News shows Ladouceur faces a laundry list of weapons charges related to a handgun and fleeing from police. 19 counts in all, most of them weapons related. This is the first look of the vast cleanup needed from the CTV News helicopter, garbage and debris everywhere. And these pictures obtained by CTV News from inside the encampment tells a similar story inside the enclosed area which the Ministry of Environment shut down. Today, police were again active, blocking roads and protecting the area due to safety risk, the city contracting paid duty officers to secure the scene. Wednesday, the city of Barrie handing out trespass notices to those living in the wooded area beside the fenced-off area, saying they had to leave as of 4 p.m. today. More fencing will soon be going up. The fencing, the city said in a statement to CTV News, is necessary to comply with provincial orders to clean up the vast mess left behind the encampment to protect local waterways, Lake Simcoe, and city wellheads. The County of Simcoe is providing resources for those misplaced in the area with 2 different centers, including a health hub on Sperling Drive and a triage center on Tiffin near the encampment.
At that center, you can have options to store your items in a safe and secure way, receive foods and snacks and just reprieve from the weather, as well as be referred to different health service providers.
Restoration companies like Puroclean saying a cleanup job in an area of this size would be complex and take weeks to complete.
Usually have to work with local municipalities and agencies to prevent water runoff from shedding into the water. Sometimes specialized pumps and filtration systems need to be put in place just to prevent further contamination.
A significant bureaucratic process to get it all done properly.
You would need trained biohazard technicians. There's going to be a fair amount of biohazard waste there and contaminants that need to be handled. Obviously the correct PPE to do the jobs, the disposal bins, possibly large-scale machinery.
For 2 days now, the city of Barrie has provided transit buses for those complying with the orders to take their belongings to the shelter on Sperling Drive.
The SIU and OPP were both on scene near the dead end of Clubhouse Road in Turkey Point. A personal watercraft sat covered in OPP tape in the nearby marina. Darcy Lemon works at a jet ski rental outlet where the marina channels enter Lake Erie. He spotted the watercraft going high speeds as it entered the channels around 1 Tuesday afternoon.
He was going at least like 120 kilometers an hour. That's like top speed on those brand new jet skis.
Following close behind were police and the Coast Guard.
We saw him come flying through, and maybe 30 seconds later, like 4 police boats and a Coast Guard boat come chasing in after him.
Our office received a call just after 1 p.m. yesterday afternoon of an individual coming in fast into our waterway.
Brad Thompson is general manager of McDonald Turkey Point Marina. Staff called him after seeing the man abandon the jet ski and run into the wooded area.
We checked all the boats. We didn't know the severity of the situation, and then we seen the canine folks roll in.
Thompson says staff occasionally have to deal with boaters who enter the marina at unsafe speeds, but he says a review of surveillance video made it clear that this was something very different. A short time after the man left the marina property, Thompson heard the sound of gunfire.
And one of the officers said there's been shots fired, so we evacuated the area, locked our staff down, and then the police had me lock C-row down so nobody could get in or out.
At this point, the SIU is only saying that the watercraft caught police attention on the lake, but haven't said why. They say there was an interaction in the wooded area and the 22-year-old male was hit simultaneously by a round from an Enfield anti-riot weapon and a firearm. He was pronounced deceased at the scene. Lemon says it's hard to understand how it all unfolded.
We get down here with like complaints and like cops will show up, but never nothing like that. Like that's something you'd see like down in like Mexico or down in the States.
The SIU has assigned 4 investigators to the case. In Turkey Point, Jerry Dewan, CTV News.
Jay-Win Kiru Bannon wore a white shirt as he sat behind glass, occasionally putting his head in his hands as he listened to testimony and arguments about whether he should go free. In the wake of a deadly crash earlier this month, The 18-year-old is charged with dangerous driving causing the death of 35-year-old Andrew Cristillo and seriously injuring his 3 children, 7-year-old Leah, 6-year-old Chloe, and 4-year-old Ella, and fleeing the scene. Compounding the girls' tragedy, their mother, Christina Cristillo, had recently been diagnosed with breast cancer, her family now without its breadwinner. For several members of the Cristillo family who attended, the hearing was difficult.
To everyone that's been supporting us, thank you for having our back. Please don't stop. We want justice for Andrew and for this to never happen to you.
About 8 members of Kiru Bannon's family attended the hearing too, the accused mouthing thank you for their show of support. They didn't wish to speak to CTV News. Only months before Kiru Bannon had been charged with dangerous driving in a crash with an OPP cruiser carrying Ontario Premier Doug Ford. Court records show Kiru Bannon likely faced a 30-day driving ban, but police didn't arrest him, just gave him a Form 9 appearance notice, so he didn't face any driving restrictions as he awaited his trial in December.
In this case, a summons was sent out and an appearance was made, and the charge was before the court. There was no bail hearing or other type of procedure in that case. And then, unfortunately, he went out driving again and caused this immense tragedy.
Cristillo's family calling for systemic changes. We asked Ontario's Solicitor General what else could have been done.
At the end of the day, if people can't live within the law, if they feel that they want to act in a way that's not in keeping with our laws in Canada, they belong in one place, and that's in jail.
A GoFundMe page established for the girls by their mother, now at $400,000, with loving comments, including, "We were all robbed of a beautiful soul, so full of life, happiness, and of course jokes. We are always here for you girls, Andrew's girls."
The hearing here in Oshawa lasted almost 7 hours. There is a publication ban, so we can't tell you about much of the evidence that we heard, but we can tell you the judge intends to issue a decision about whether to release Kiru Bannon on bail on Friday. Reporting live from Oshawa, I'm John Woodward.
For nearly 2 decades, the name has stood above the door, pub Burgundy Lion, but now it's on the province's radar. Co-owner Toby Lyle says the OQLF is overstepping.
Pub is a French word, Lyon is a French word, and Burgundy is a place name, so neither English or French.
Officially, the neighborhood is Petite Bourgogne, but Lyle says many Montrealers know it as Little Burgundy and embrace the pub that bears its name.
We feel we've been accepted by the community, and so it would be a disservice not just to us, but to the community as a whole to change the name.
Under new rules that took effect June 1st, French must be strongly predominant on all signs, generally twice the size of any other language. A spokesperson for the OQLF tells CTV News the pub has started the Francization process. The office says the file is still under review and that no final decision has been made regarding the compliance of its signage. The ministry responsible for the French language declined to comment. Lyle says he agreed with some of the OQLF's demands after their July visit, including adding more French translations on the pub's website and social media. But he draws the line at the sign.
The sign's been here 17 years, and we're proud to be in Little Burgundy and proud of Little Burgundy. It's a historical neighborhood in Montreal.
On Tuesday, Lyle received a deadline, make the changes by November. He's asked the OQLF to reconsider, but says he'll fight if he has to.
It's part of the provincial government's effort to polarize us, distract us with things that are not really that important, that are not necessary, while there's much bigger issues to address in Quebec.
Leaving it unchanged could cost the pub $3,000 to $30,000 a day. Until November, what's above the door is more than a name, it's a statement. Laurence Brisson-Dubreuil, CTV News.
I would smash the window, let the dog out.
What would you do if you walked by a vehicle on a hot summer day and felt concerned for the safety of a pet that was inside?
I wouldn't just leave it. I would check to see how the dog's doing, and if it looks like it's in distress, I would probably break the window as well.
According to Windsor Police, a concerned citizen believed the dog was in distress in the Strip Plaza parking lot at Lauson and Tecumseh Road last weekend. Windsor Police say a dog was left in a vehicle for about 10 minutes while the owner attended a business inside the Strip Plaza. Police arrived shortly before 2:30 on a day when Environment Canada issued a heat advisory. The citizen contacted police before smashing a window. Police determined the dog showed no signs of distress.
The law is that you shouldn't be breaking somebody else's property. Let the police do that, and they can rely on that legislation to do so.
Contact Windsor Police or Windsor Fire and Rescue Services immediately. And we also urge callers to always listen to the instructions and abide by the instructions that the dispatchers are providing.
The citizen could have been arrested for mischief, but charges were not laid in this case. Now, how could you recognize a dog in distress?
Heat stroke, you're going to see lethargy, but I mean, that's hard in a car. So, if you see the dog laying down, not moving, that's definitely a sign of severe distress.
Lynette Bain, Executive Director of the Windsor-Essex County Humane Society, says excessive panting could be another sign.
You need a veterinary professional to tell if the dog's in heat stroke, because they might need to look at the color of the dog's gums, to look if it's dehydrated. There's so many different things that they would do, but that's why calling 911 is your best bet.
According to the Canada Safety Council, the temperature inside a previously air-conditioned vehicle could go from 35 to 50 degrees Celsius in 20 minutes. Someone deemed guilty of leaving a pet in danger could be slapped with up to 2 years in jail and or a $10,000 fine. Bob Belichico, CTV News.
I just saw the side of the truck, like in a flash, and then bang, bang, bang.
Residents in a Barhaven neighborhood are dealing with the aftermath of a dump truck barreling down their street, leaving a trail of destruction. The driver losing control, tearing through front yards Tuesday morning, damaging several vehicles.
So scary, even my kids, they're still having trauma.
Oh, you have damage to your house too?
Yeah.
Some residents, like Abdullah Abdulrahman, were in their cars just moments before they were smashed.
I was with my kids outside, to bring something, and we came in, and it was just 4 minutes, and then this happened. So it was crazy. I was thinking, what if we were still in the car?
Thankfully, no one was injured. Paramedics say the driver experienced a medical emergency, possibly related to the heat. The incident leaving residents shaken.
My husband called me and he's like, did you see what happened? We have the video.
Natasha Gratton's security camera catching this view of the truck demolishing her neighbor's parked cars.
And then see people getting out and so many cars were damaged. But I'm so glad that there was no kids, because it could have been worse.
Insurance experts say these vehicle owners should have coverage because they're not at fault.
We have to deal with insurance now. We were all just going about our lives before, but we have to track down the information for insurance. We have to do all the legwork.
Ottawa police will only say they're investigating the crash, but aren't providing any other details. Dave Charbonneau, CTV News.
This type of video is commonly seen on the Stonebridge Neighbourhood Watch Facebook page, residents posting incidents of crime in their community. Brady Taylor started the page in 2012 after some vehicle break-ins.
I didn't really know my neighbors that well, and I knew that they had cameras, and Facebook groups were just starting to be a thing. And I said, well, maybe this is a way that I can connect with my neighbors that I don't really know.
And with crime increasing since the pandemic and numbers leveling off now, according to the Saskatoon Police, it's that concept of getting to know your neighbors that is valuable.
Ensuring that your place is properly secured is vital. Working together with your neighbors and family to ensuring that your property is secure.
With so many posts of crime in Stonebridge, everything from porch pirating, bike thefts, and vehicle break-ins, does that mean property crime is higher there?
The neighborhood is growing based on increase in residential builds, but the crime in itself is decreasing.
But for this inspector who's been with SPS for 20 years, that might not be the entire picture.
We only have been receiving about 50% of property crime reporting, and so we don't have all of the data.
While it's positive that people are posting on social media, that doesn't mean that those stats are recorded with SPS. That only happens when residents report the crime to police themselves.
For them to post social media videos, it is hugely important for the police for them to follow up and report the incident.
That's also vital so police resources can be allocated. So has the page and all its posts seen many success stories?
Oh, yes, absolutely. Even with lost items or items that were discarded.
Police saying they can also use those photos and videos to help with their investigations. Carla Shinkaruk, CTV News, Saskatoon.
This quiet rural community is the last place you'd expect a child to be targeted by a violent international extremist network, but that's the living nightmare unfolding for the mother of a 14-year-old girl in small-town central Alberta. CTV is not identifying her or the family's location for their safety.
She locks herself in her room. She doesn't want to associate with anyone in the home.
Her daughter struggled with her mental health for years, but things escalated to a frightening tipping point roughly a year ago.
She'd written on her wall in blood. She had cut herself here and carved on her legs.
She also discovered disturbing sexually exploitive pictures and conversations on her phone with a member of 764, an ideologically motivated child exploitation enterprise formed in 2021, named after the founder's zip code in Texas. The founder of the group, who was just 15 at the time, is now serving an 80-year prison sentence, and the FBI has charged other alleged leaders. A few teens have been charged here in Canada, but the RCMP says 764 operates under a number of different aliases, making it hard to pin down and remains a serious threat.
It is a combination of neo-Nazism, Satanism, and self-harm. They also call it accelerationism, which means basically trying to get to the point where it's anarchy.
Members use encrypted platforms like the instant messaging service Discord. They also use popular online games Roblox and Minecraft to recruit youth.
The most disturbing stuff that you can imagine. Not only are they getting kids to self-harm, but they're also convincing their kids to, kill and mutilate animals, family pets, abuse siblings.
She's told me she'll stab me in my sleep.
Desperate to protect her family, this mother took away her daughter's phone and devices, only to learn she was still accessing the platforms at school, and says seeking support from the school board, healthcare system, and police has been an exhausting uphill battle.
She doesn't think I care, but I'm doing this all because I love her.
Nobody has been charged, but she's not giving up. Terry Fikowski, CTV News in Central Alberta.
The sounds of fire season aren't just flames. It's also the sound of boxes worth of memories.
We have our fingers crossed.
Hans Wozniak says fire crews came to his Port Alberni neighborhood Tuesday night as the Mount Underwood fire continues to spread.
Once we had the evacuation notice, then all of a sudden it's okay.
So it has grown since the update.
The BC Wildfire Service says the fire has grown significantly in the last 24 hours and is more than 2,100 hectares.
The terrain that they're working in is incredibly challenging and is also continuing to drive fire growth upslope.
They added, it's not just the terrain that's making this fire an uphill battle.
The winds, the drought, and the dry conditions, the ongoing dry conditions, along with the elevated temperatures, have been the primary drivers of fire behavior.
Crews are seeing the most growth and activity on the east flank furthest from Port Alberni, but they are focusing efforts to create a fuel-free hand line on the northwest flank, which is closest to town.
The community of Port Alberni is not currently threatened by this wildfire.
With rain ahead, officials say it will help.
It'll certainly reduce fire behavior significantly in the short term.
However, due to drought conditions on the island,
it would take a significant amount of rain over a longer period to really penetrate the ground.
We want to acknowledge just the people that are out there risking their lives every single day for all of us.
More than 60 ground crews are working on this fire. Elected Chief Ken Watts from the Seychat First Nation says they're grateful.
We have all the faith in the world that the people that are out there fighting the fire are doing the best that they can.
Barmar says the Wesley Ridge and Mount Underwood fires are a reminder to all.
Like I would say to every British Columbian, you don't need to be on alert to have a go bag ready.
But Wozniak says regardless, he's ready to go.
If it comes down to it, if we gotta go, we gotta go, that's all.
Dimitri Marigo, CTV News, Vancouver.